Did you know that the Hells Angels is the most notorious motorcycle club ever? This is because of the many violent members the club has. They have a reputation for being involved in violence, drug trafficking, and many other criminal activities. In this video, we'll discuss the top 5 most dangerous members of the Hells Angels and their impact on the history and the culture of the outlaw biker gang. It's important to remember that not all motorcycle clubs are engaged in criminal activities. Many people who ride motorcycles do so legally and responsibly. However, in this video we're going to focus on the Hells Angels and their most dangerous members. David Wolf Carroll. Carroll was a member of the Hells Angels in Quebec and became known for his involvement in drug dealing and violent acts. He was charged with multiple crimes including murder, but managed to escape and evade capture. His current whereabouts is unknown. Michel Langlois. Langlois was a prominent member of the Hells Angels and became the Canadian national president. He was involved in criminal activities including the Lennoxville massacre. He served time in prison for his involvement in various crimes. Robert Chico Mora. Mora was the leader of the Dirty Dozen motorcycle gang and later aligned himself with the Hells Angels. He had a reputation for violence and criminal activities. After merging with Hells Angels, he continued to engage in those illegal activities. Yves Trudeau, also known as Apache or the Mad Bumper, Trudeau was a well-known criminal involved in organized crime. He was born in Canada in 1946. Despite his small size, he stood at only 5 foot 6 inches tall and weighed about 135 pounds, 61 kilos. He was a powerful and influential figure in Canadian Industries Limited. Trudeau's involvement with explosives began in the 1960s when he received training in handling them. Using his knowledge of explosives, Trudeau orchestrated several bombings, which helped him climb the ranks of Popeye's Motorcycle Club in the late 1960s. In 1977, Popeyes merged with Hells Angels, and Trudeau became a member of the Laval chapter. During his time with the Hells Angels, Trudeau gained a reputation as one of the most dangerous members of the group. He is considered the most prolific murderer in Hells Angels history, admitting to committing 43 murders between September 1973 and July 1985. These killings involved 29 with guns, 10 with bombs, 3 by physical assault, and 1 by strangulation. Due to the number of bodies dumped there, the northern part of the St. Lawrence River became unofficially known as Hells Angels Graveyard. Trudeau was involved in several high-profile murders, including those of Robert Coate and Brian Powers. He also killed Jean Desjardins, the grandmother of former Hells Angel member Andre Desjardins, who was attempting to help his son. Trudeau later targeted Andre Desjardins and his girlfriend Berta Desjardins, taking their lives. He narrowly escaped a death in a rehab facility during the Lennoxville massacre in 1985. While in rehab, he was expelled from the club, but his troubles were far from over. Frustrated by his cocaine addiction and a belief that his fellow gang members wanted him dead, he became a government informant after the Lennoxville massacre. In exchange for his cooperation, Trudeau received a lenient sentence of life in prison, but became eligible for parole after 7 years. He was granted parole in 1994 and given a new identity as Dennis Coate. However, in March of 2004, he was arrested for sexually assaulting a young boy, resulting in an additional 4 years of imprisonment. In 2007, Trudeau learned that he had cancer and was transferred to a medical centre from Archambault Prison. He passed away in 2008. Despite the passage of time, he remains one of Canada's most infamous and prolific serial criminals. Maurice Boucher, aka Maurice Mom Boucher, a Canadian criminal and former leader of the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club in Quebec. He was born June 21, 1953 in Quebec. Boucher had a troubled childhood, becoming involved in criminal activities at an early age. He dropped out of school at 15 and turned to crime, committing break-ins and armed robberies to support his drug habit. In 1975, he was imprisoned for an armed robbery and later arrested for a series of home invasions with his brother in 1978. In 1982, he joined the white supremacist motorcycle gang called the SS, which later transformed into the Hells Angels. Boucher quickly rose to prominence as a gang leader, known for his violent tactics and involvement in the drug trade. On May 1, 1987, Maurice Boucher became a member of the notorious Hells Angels Montreal chapter. He gained a reputation for his cruelty and cunning within the gang. In 1995, Boucher formed a Nomads chapter of Hells Angels, aiming to dominate the drug market in Quebec. This decision led to a violent war with rival biker gangs, resulting in the loss of over 162 lives and hundreds of injuries. Boucher's involvement in orchestrating violence and destruction throughout the province earned him the status of a fearsome criminal. Whilst facing increasing police pressure, he used intimidation tactics to fend off law enforcement. However, his reign of terror eventually came to an end. In 1998, Boucher was acquitted of ordering the murder of 2 corrections officers and the attempted murder of a third. However, an informant named Stefan Gain provided evidence that Boucher was indeed behind the murders. In May 2002, Boucher was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison. While serving his sentence, Boucher was reportedly expelled from the Hells Angel Motorcycle Club in 2014. Behind bars, he faced further trouble. In 2015, he and a fellow inmate were charged with attempted murder after allegedly stabbing another prisoner. Since 2002, Maurice Boucher has been held in the Special Handling Unit, which is a super maximum federal prison near Montreal. He passed away in 2022 from cancer while being held in the palliative care ward. These are just a few examples of the very dangerous members of the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club. Their involvement in criminal activities has had a significant impact on the gang's history and the culture surrounding outlaw biker groups. If you like this video, please give it a like and share it with your friends. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe and make sure to hit the bell icon so that you will always get the very latest from us first.